Hey guys, this is Ozark Pepper One. I'm gonna go ahead and make another video today. I usually don't do back-to-back videos, but I had another thought, and part of the reason I have the thought is I witnessed of a couple disabled folks today, and it got me to thinking, what are we gonna do with our disabled folks that can't help themselves? We're gonna have to help them, because there's some that, they're basically in wheelchairs, or some are bedbound, and they don't know what's going on, as far as they're not really sitting at home looking at economics and stuff. So they don't know the future as the average Joe does. But we're going to have to figure out how to make sure they're took care of. Because if we don't take care of those people, then we don't have a right to be here. Because any one of those people could easily be you or I. All it takes is an accident, a brain aneurysm, some kind of disease. It doesn't take much to turn a person into a mentally incapable of fending for yourself. And the real sad part about it is we have people who walk around this world who are violent, and they're mean to other people. And I don't think it would bother them to hurt a person like that. There are people that have that much malice. And not only we have to help those folks, we have to protect those folks from the bad guys. Because if they break into a home because they're wanting to steal food or steal anything, because they would automatically assume, well, that person must have medications or something I can take. No, I don't think it would bother them one bit to rob from those people. And basically that's giving those people a death sentence when you take away some of their life-saving medication. Because when I'm not a doctor, I don't give medical advice, but I do have common sense, and you know that when you're not moving around, you're more susceptible to, well, you gain weight a little bit in your lower half, and then certain organs try to shut down if they don't have certain medications that keep things open. And there's a large number of people in our country that's in that shape, in every country. And how we treat those defines who we are as people. I don't mind as much tax money as possible going to those people. There's no reason why we can't invest in those people. We can buy all these war machines, and they give disability benefits to people that are 25 years old and have a marijuana problem. And I think that's got to stop. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these people on disability, these people all the way up in their 40s, are like that. They've done it since they were in their 20s. They've figured out how to manipulate the system. They pretend like they have a mental problem, or they pretend like they have an injury. And what they really have is a drug problem. And that takes away from the honest, good people that really need that help, and they really have a disability. I think every one of us has joked around at one time in our life and said, man, I'm getting tired of working. I think I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. But none of us would do that. you know, because the benefits doesn't outweigh the pain of it. There's two cats screaming at each other for no reason. They just hate each other. But there's no reason for us to keep wasting money on these people who are not disabled and taking away from those who are. And I'm all for some kind of, you know, real testing on these people, because it's a shame that we let people get by with that. I don't know. I'm too mad to talk. When you hear that stuff, and when you see it with your own eyes, you see the real people who need it. It makes you mad thinking about how many are taken from it, how many are just milking the system. There's nothing wrong with these people except they like to eat Doritos and smoke weed all day. Which, if they can afford to do that on their own dime, good for them. Let them do it. But we shouldn't have to pay for that. You know, the average Joe can work, and some states are different than others, but Missouri is corrupt. It's been corrupt forever. They have taken it to where you can work a job 10, 20 years and have an awesome work record, but you can have it out with your employer and get fired, and the employer can say, oh, it was misconduct, and they deny your unemployment benefits. And nowadays they will fight your unemployment benefits to the bitter end. But then they'll turn around and just give some drug addict a disability check because he's fat, or because he claims he was injured and hasn't recovered. And these types are easy to spot. They're easy to spot. Don't like to judge anybody, but a lot of them have a little hippie look to them. You know, and it's not that hippie look of the 60s. They're all fat. They're usually fat, and they got long hair, and they got that I wish I could have been a rock star look. And what it boils down to is they're just milking the system because they don't want to work. And I don't want to work either, but I'm not going to live off somebody else's dime. But they're easy to spot. Everybody knows one. And they usually have other issues with them too. They usually have some kind of criminal record. But yet our state continues to just give these people free money. Free benefits, free food, free housing. And I think it's time to cut them off and start giving that money back to the people who need it. Start taking care of the people with a work record. Judge what you give a person by their work record, not by their what their employer says. You know, so what if a person had misconduct, what they call it? Misconduct means you didn't follow and be a yes man on everything. That's all that means. It means your employer disagreed with you, and out of spite, they deny your you know, what do they call it? Your cushion, your safety net. That's where you recover. Because a lot of people, when they lose a job, and I've experienced it before, you know, for about 6 months to a year, you're really not in a mental position to go back to work because you're still angry at your former employer, and it's not fair to the new employer because, you know, you might walk into the new place just thinking, man, if this guy pulls the same crap as the last guy, I'm going to knock him out. And it's not fair to the new guy because he may just be, you know, a good guy showing you the way they do things, and you take it the wrong way because you're still mad. And, you know, they'll try to place that on you, the individual. You know, all that responsibility. When the former employer warped your mind, you know, because not every employer is a good person. or let's say entity, because a lot of times it's a big corporate entity. You have, 1,000 shareholders, and they just want their money, and they don't care how they get it, and they don't care who they screw over, who suffers. But back on topic, let's start taking care of our disabled people. Let's get them set up, because when things get bad, what are we going to do? We're going to forget about them? All these people who take care of these disabled folks are angels. You got your bad ones. You got people that mistreat them and stuff because they're there for a check. But you have some people that once they get into it, they don't leave because they care. And I think a lot of the states know that, and they figure, well, we can just pay them less because their hearts will keep them here. But I think it would be wise to start redirecting some money towards our disabled folks and the facilities that take care of them and the organizations who take care of them. And now, if that was the way our government said we're going to spend your money, I don't think any of us would have a problem with that. I'd much rather see it go to that than some missile or some foreign aid or anything like that. We need to take care of our own first, because if we fall, everybody else does. And if we let our most vulnerable fall, and we don't deserve to be held up. I need to quit talking. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Ozark Prepper 1 out.